Welcome back to another edition of Strengthening Oklahoma. And this edition of Strengthening Oklahoma is brought to you by The Garage. Visit eatatthegarage.com to find a location near you and order online from The Garage in your neighborhood. We got the star-studded safety, Mr. Key Lawrence, joining us here this afternoon. Key, how we doing, man?
Great. How you doing?
Man, we're doing awesome. Before we get into camp and game week and all that, it was your last weekend before the grind of the college football season. Did you enjoy your time, and did you watch any college football, man? What'd you do this weekend?
Yeah, it was pretty fun. We had walked through yesterday, and pretty much immediately after, Coach broad streamed I think it was the Northwestern and Nebraska game, on every single TV in the facility yesterday. So we was all tuned into that, and it was exciting to watch the football. Be back on Saturdays.
We'll see if he dials up any surprise on sides against UTEP. Did not go well for Nebraska. Okay, so I do want to get into training camp with you because you're a guy I always I feel like I can count on telling me the truth about that stuff. We've heard from the other guys. It was a hard camp, very physical. Is that how it was for you, man? Was it the most challenging one you've been a part of?
Honestly, I'd definitely say it's probably been one of the more stressful ones, just because we strive so much to be perfectionists. So we just put so much emphasis on the games being 3 times harder than the practice being 3 times harder than the games. So of course, coach always surprise us with immediate switch changes. So we start to practice off of red zone. Whereas I've never done that before, and have to understand adapting is going to be something that's going to be crucial into this football. So it's been a lot of different stressful situations.
What about just from how you feel? Did you come out healthy? And just from where maybe you and that safety room collectively started camp to where you guys are now ready to start the season, did you see growth in that department? Guys getting better?
Oh, of course. Yeah, because honestly, as cliche as it may sound, Smitty done built so much calluses with the fellas. So we all just built up, man. I can't even explain to you how much it's help that he's been with the weight room process that translated to the field. So a lot of the guys stay healthy majority, if not the entire time. If somebody missed, it'll probably be for 30 minutes just to say we needed some ibuprofen or something to get back out there. So yeah, other than that, it was a great time. Everybody else was buffed up and had fun with it. So
yeah, no, I can only imagine, man. And so looking at Coach Venables, you had Coach Riley last year, an offensive-minded head coach, right? Now you've got a defensive-minded guy with BV. Is there a big difference with that? Do you feel like there's a different mentality because Coach V is a defensive guy and you're a defensive player?
It changed the entire back seven's perspective. Okay, so because we all have to be intertwined with each other. It's important or very imperative that I know what my linebacker's doing. I might not play linebacker, but it's imperative that I know what they're doing, so I know how I need to fit this run. If there's 2 blockers, 3 gaps, where am I going to fit? Certain stuff like that Coach BV has put on us that I never would have thought or never would have been taught at this level. So it's been a great thing that I have a defensive mindset coach, so I can actually relate to. It can actually pour more into me with this football stuff. So yeah,
I love that. What about your position coach? B Hall was there when I was there back in the day, and I'm so glad to see him back. Love that dude to death. What's it been like for you now, working with him for a spring and now this full fall camp?
I love him. He's just such a people person that we just gratify. We just gravitate towards him. He's one of those guys that he can joke with, so you can understand the whole concept of the defense better. And it's just great having somebody like that to break it down for some of us, especially getting a new playbook and having the younger guys we got. It's easy for them to translate, trying to learn and gratify. And it just goes a lot smoother when you can it's easier. You can gravitate towards your coaches because you can actually trust them and want to bond with them. So yeah.
Yeah, B Hall, he was also there when I was there. And now I wasn't a defensive guy like Dusty, but he's just really easy to get along with. But one thing about it, man, he's smart. I mean, he knows this stuff inside and out. So with with his knowledge, his level of knowledge of the defense, with how long he's been with BV, like how much easier does that make it on you?
I mean, it makes it a lot easier for everybody. Of course, it's just like wise men speaking wise words to us, so we have to listen to it because they know and they've been in there numerous times. So I'm pretty sure you guys know exactly how it was at Oklahoma. Like when the coaches was there and they put so much on you, but they actually understand and know what they're talking about. So it doesn't do nothing else but just makes us want to listen. So it's been a great thing for them, especially that we have them. They've been here before. They know the routine, how it's set up, how it's going to go, and yeah.
And he knows exactly what Coach Venables wants and expects because
Mm-hmm.
he worked right underneath that man for a long time. And I'm going to tell you, he's had plenty of tongue lashings from Coach Venables. So now he gets to, I'm sure he still gets them. Now he gets to dole some of those out to some of you guys.
Thanks.
All right. So that safety room, I've heard a lot of names brought up. Obviously, Billy's had a really good camp. You've had a good camp. Justin Harrington, the time that I was out there, looks like he's more comfortable at safety than he was at corner. And obviously, Justin Broyles, I think this is his 17th season in Oklahoma.
I think
He's
20th,
been there for a minute.
20th or something like that.
22nd season.
Yeah.
What talk to me about the competition, man. It's always good to have a good, lively competition that feels like what you guys have in that safety room.
Of course, man. We're all pushing each other. Like all we want is perfection. Like I was just telling Gabe before we got hopped on here. It's like right after this call, we're gonna go back up to the film room and get back into the film room so we get ready for practice tomorrow. So like just a lot of like small stuff like that that we actually want to be intertwined and get dialed in with each other just so we can be on the same pages. It's just like you know iron sharpens iron, and we just want to continue to go on that pace and just try to live by that.
So just for you specifically, right? Last year, got on the field, couple different positions, had some games where you really made some impact plays, but now you've got this home at safety, right? Just how much more comfortable are you? Not only on the field, but in the film room, like just having that one spot you can really focus on.
I just try not to limit myself. Honestly, I try to put as much stress as I can. I know it may sound weird, but like I push myself so hard at practice where I feel like it's so much easier in the game. It's gonna be a lot more slowed down for me because like I said, having film like we be studying so much on film, I actually know like what to encounter, like what to expect and how I should react to it. So it's gonna be a lot more slowed down for me, especially now that I know one position and then translate to another. So it's like easier for me to just like adapt to on the field. So I think it'll be a big help for me just understanding that I can just be in the back end and try to be the eraser of everything.
Typically, this time of year as a team and individually, you start to put together some goals. What do you have for yourself? Like anything, like any numbers wise, or maybe just more big picture? You want to be a better tackler, whatever it may be. Any individual goals you set forth for yourself?
Jim Thorpe.
Like it. You ain't even shying away from it. Just said, let's go.
Yeah, just Jim Thorpe. I'm just trying to do whatever I got to do to get that big boy.
What's the and how do you get that though in your mind? Like what is it going to take on the field for you to get for people that don't know, Jim Thorpe is the most outstanding defensive back in the country award.
Mm-hmm.
How do you make that a reality on the field this year?
Just dominating the game, just trying to be a student of the game, have respect for it. You can't go out there and just expect them to make plays. You got to visualize it the night before, the week before. Just prepare myself like throughout this whole entire process, man. Like I understand that I'm on a mission, which is going to lead me way past my destination, and I'm just trying to stay on the same path. So wherever it be like better tackling angles, having parties in the backfield, TFLs, interceptions, whatever I got to do, just trying to have I'm trying to get at least 10 tackles a game. That's the type of mentality I'm coming with.
So, with that in mind, got to have a great understanding of the scheme.
Exactly.
If you're going to play at that level, if you want to play at a, Jim Thorpe Award type level, you got to know this thing inside and out. How comfortable are you with the scheme right now? And as a defense overall, how do you guys feel about your knowledge and your understanding of what BV has implemented?
Actually, I'm going to take that back. I don't want to say I'm too comfortable. I don't want to get too complacent with myself.
I like it. I see what you did there. I like it.
Yeah, I'm going to just take that back, and I just want to prepare one step at a time. We don't want to rush too much with it. It's different game plans for each opponent, so we're just trying to leave it at that, just trying to adapt to them, and then we're just going to dominate it from there.
I think maybe just not using the word comfortable, maybe confident, right? You're confident in your knowledge of the scheme. Now you don't want to get complacent. You don't want to get comfortable per se, but you're feeling really confident about your knowledge of everything you guys are doing defensively.
Yes, exactly. I feel real confident.
So you had mentioned something earlier. You had said that you guys were there doing like a pregame, like treating Saturday morning like a game day. Walk us through what last week was like. You break camp, class gets in, you had a normal week of practice. I know Friday night, you guys were basically going through the routine that you have for a Friday night before a game. And it sounds like Saturday you came in. So y'all treated this week 0 as an actual game week from a preparation standpoint?
Yes. So we actually went through every step of the game to show the freshmen that like exactly how it's supposed to be played out. Cause like coaches, like Coach Schmidt is like one of those strict like time guys. And I'm pretty sure you know. So like he wants everything to be precise. So we went through the bus ride, which way we're gonna go, how it's gonna go, showed them the hotel, what to wear, how to wear it, where to pick up their room keys, when to be downstairs, when to have treatment, like all type of stuff. Like we went through the entire protocol. So like if it's gonna rain, where we're gonna go for rains, like stuff like that. Like we literally did everything. So it was just like a mimic game day for us.
Attention to details, to say the least, huh?
Exactly.
What was there anything where you were like, okay, coach, I mean, come on, like, what do we do? Did you guys do the walk of champions? Did you like wave to nobody?
Like that's what we was thinking. But he was like, you know what? We actually ran out of time, like going over every single thing. Like when I take we went over every single room, we went to every place, like every speck of the hotel. We covered it. And so we ran out of time. So we had to go through like the backway tunnel. And then we just like went from there.
I got a quick question. Bus ride to games.
Mm-hmm.
Are you guys locked in, focused? Are guys cutting up? Like what's? Because I'm just going to warn you. Two things here. Number one, I would not be messing around if Coach Venables is on your bus. Like I would be as serious as possible. And number two, I'll never forget this. My sophomore year, after a game, even if you win, if you defensively don't play well, you better not be on there having too much fun. We won a close game at Columbia, Missouri, my sophomore year in 2002. I'll never forget it. We get on the bus. Like, we just won. Right. We won the game. And I thought Coach Venables was going to start ripping guys out of chairs because we were back there talking. And we did not play well. Brad Smith ate us up. And he let us know about it. We had nothing to be celebrating. And he wanted nothing but silence all the way to the airport. So silence is exactly what he got. So just a couple of, just throwing it out there for you. Ride to the stadium. I keep it quiet and understand if you play well, I think you can do whatever you want. But if you don't, might feel like a funeral a little bit on the way to the airport or back to the house.
Yeah. So even when we were doing a mimic game day, nobody was talking. No one said a word. We wasn't even trying to do it. Like I purposely sat in the front so I wouldn't be in the back like trying to chuckle. I don't even want to giggle back there. So yeah, everybody was back there being like dead silent. You can hear a pin drop.
Love it.
Sure. Smart guys. Look at these guys, Dusty. Just smart guys.
Ahead of the curve, man. They don't even need advice from old people like us, Gabe.
No. Now, the defense, man, I'm excited to watch you guys fly around against UTEP. But what's the attitude of the defense like right now? Right? I mean, last year didn't go the way that y'all wanted to go defensively. I imagine you got a big chip on your shoulder heading into the year as a group. Like, what's that attitude right now defensively?
The ferocious swagger. Like, when you make a play, you're going to hear about it, you're going to know it, but we're not going to say too much to the opponent. We're just going to line it back up, help you back up, and going to knock you right back down. That's how we're trying to do it. That's how we're going to come this year. Like, I don't want to say too much because September 3rd is around the corner, and they're going to get a real sneak peek then.
I can't wait. It's coming, man. It's this week. We are at game week. So let's get into it. UTEP, this is Dana Demmel, comes from that Kansas State philosophy, big personnel, heavy tight ends, maybe even see some fullback, kind of, they want to run the football. Right. And you also got a chance to see them have a game, right? They just played at home against North Texas over the weekend, got beat. But what do you see from UTEP, especially just the different personnel groupings they're going to have with more bigger people on the field?
Yeah, they're a lot more heavy personnel type of team. So we got to put a 10 toes cleats down in the turf. So, but a lot of guys that I've seen from them so far is that they're going to do a lot of trick plays, maybe big shots team. They like to go for it. pretty much they try to take it to the right calls at the right times, understanding that the coach that came from K-State with Venables, he teaches O-line, so they're gonna be pretty crisp on the O-line, reading the defensive schemes. They're gonna try to do too much, whatever they got to do to protect their best player, was their quarterback. Whatever they have to do to try to finagle us, back screens, pop passes, anything of that nature, they'll try to do it.
Now, and obviously you guys have been watching a lot of UTEP up to this point. Now you've got that North Texas film to look at, but as one of the more vocal guys on defense, kind of one of the leaders of the team, how do you make sure maybe some of the younger guys don't get influenced by what UTEP looked like against North Texas, right? Because I mean, they got rolled a little bit. They did. We don't have to sugarcoat that. So how do you keep those guys focused and make sure they don't relax a little bit when it comes to the preparation?
I think it starts off at practice. We want to say like just taking everything serious. How you do anything is how you do everything. We live on that. We don't want to go into a game underestimating anybody, because everybody knows if you sleep on somebody, they're gonna just sneak up on you, and they might win, or they might take off at halftime to be a detrimental to the game. And we don't want to, and no one wants to start late. We want to get out there fast on them, showing that we're here to compete and try to send a message to college football that we shouldn't be number 9 in the rankings. We should be number 1. So that's how we're gonna try to come out there and act.
I can't wait to see exactly what that looks like, man. It's going to be fun on Saturday in the Palace. Get that Brent Venables career kick started against UTEP, and I can't wait to see what that defense looks like as well. All right, we're going to do this each and every time with you. We take some questions from the fans, so let's get right to them. Our fans' questions brought to you by Love's Travel Stops. Visit loves.com for more information on the nation's leading travel stop network that's headquartered right here in the great state of Oklahoma. Josh Smith, who we appreciate, Josh, always doing such a good job with his questions. Josh Smith wants to know, did you transition from UT help to prepare you for the transition to the new coaching staff? Did the transition from UT help you prepare for the transition now with this new coaching staff?
Okay, so pretty much ever since I began playing football, I always had a new coach every year. Like ever since I started playing in middle school. So I started playing 8th grade, like seriously in 8th grade. And every single year I had a new coach to adapt to. So it's nothing new. I understand how to adapt quick. I done processed it a lot faster in my head. But yeah, I try to take everything I learned from the UT coach staff to last year to this year and try to jumble up into one as of right now. But I'm just trying to take a lot from BV because he's a defensive mastermind and he is a genius. So I try to do as much as I can from him.
Do you ever find yourself comparing the coaching staffs, or is that just kind of
yeah.
Is that something you do? It's only natural, right?
Yeah, it's human nature. I feel like, I mean, I have to, but I just try not to think about it too much, because at the end of the day, they all gave me an opportunity to play for them. So I can't do.
Second part of the question from Josh is, what has been the biggest change you've seen in the 3 staffs? If there's any way for you to kind of, everybody has their own style, their own way of doing things, right? So I guess just maybe, is there a certain change that's maybe stood out, especially as relates with Coach Venables?
Yeah, the details. And I'm gonna say, like, in the organization period, like the energy is different between every little aspect. So for last year, the details was like set on like how the weight room is, like, so if the dumbbells was upside down, we have to correct the dumbbells. So as for this year, details is like in every aspect. So if we don't have a tie, we won't play. If we don't have every pad, you won't play. Like certain stuff like that. Like you just got to be dialed in every aspect. Like got to be on time being 10 minutes early. You just like little stuff like that. You don't want to wear earrings, like little small details, like more mannerisms, if I could say, this year. That's any other stuff than I had.
Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, this next one comes from Craig W. And he said, some of the other guys keep saying you're the funniest guy on the team. Is that true?
Yes. I'm the funniest guy on the team. Yes, for sure.
Okay, we got to dive into that a little bit. Okay, what makes you the funniest? Because for real, that we've had multiple guys tell us that because people have asked.
Everybody says you, man.
What makes you the funniest guy on the team?
I don't know. It's just something that I'm just like naturally goofy. Like I don't want to make every situation like so uptight. I like to just live loose. Like, so I'm so happy to use this quote. We had a guest speaker. His name was Shep. I forgot his last name, but his name was Shep. He told us, like, stop acting like you live life once, which means like we can't just be so tight about everything. Like, we just gotta go out there, have loose and be fun. So no matter what, I always try to find the better things out of every situation. And that's just how I live by. So I don't know. Maybe because I'm goofy or something.
Is there stand up in your future? Like, I mean, are you just kind of just always messing around, or like you got some actual good content you're bringing up?
He seems like a guy that would have some good impressions in the arsenal, you know?
I'm a jack of all trades. I can do it all.
I love it, man. Absolutely love it. And you can also do it all in the football field, which, as much as we enjoy you being a comedian and a jokester and enjoying life and not taking things too seriously, can't wait to see what it looks like on the field this year, man. I think Gabe and I both think you're primed and ready for a big time season. So we're gonna get a chance to do this with you once a month. Really enjoy it, man. Best of luck this week. Go out there, have a ton of fun, and can't wait to talk to you again next month, man. Best of luck this week.
Blessings.
All right, there you go. Key Lawrence getting ready for the opener this week in the Palace. UTEP coming to Norman. Can't get here soon enough. Big thanks to Key for joining us. And now it's time for my man Gabe and me to break it down. All right, man. So much fun chatting there with Key Lawrence. Now it is time to break it down as we do, Gabe. But, first, we got to give a big shout out because we got some new partners. We love our partnerships that we've had, we continue to grow. So great. Muse Growth Strategies has been awesome for us. HSRG, the phenomenal people it loves. And now we've got a new teammate, a new team member here at Strengthening Oklahoma, and that's the Oklahoma Proton Center. So each and every week, when Gabe and I break it down, the breakdown today, next week, and the following week will be brought to you by the Oklahoma Proton Center. It's one of the top cancer centers in the region using state-of-the-art proton therapy. Oklahoma Proton Center, more than a cure, quality of life. All right, so Key Lawrence, you and I got high aspirations for Key this year. Billy Bowman's kind of been garnering all the headlines coming out of camp, and that's great. Billy's playing well. One thing I noticed about Key even last year is the guy's just a playmaker, man. Like, shows up around the football. He's always around the ball. And whether it's punch outs, he had 3 forced fumbles last year, just seems to have a knack as a playmaker. Thought he made some really nice open field tackles. And you even kind of mentioned it there as we were talking with him. He didn't have one set position. They're moving him around, using him all over. That's going to change now. He's going to have a home. And I really am excited because sometimes when you just pop the tape on, dudes stand out. And to me, when I popped the tape in last year, he was one of the guys that really stood out from that defense last season. And I just think naturally with this new scheme, with this staff, all the things we know that are going on, it's going to really help allow him to flourish and potentially put together a special type of season.
Yeah. And it's a big year for Key Lawrence.
Sure.
Right? I mean, it is a big year. And I think the UTEP game's a big game for him, right? Because we've heard Venables talk a lot about the battle at the safety positions, right? And I think some people think that once the season starts, kind of the evaluations and the battle for starting jobs just kind of ends.
No.
That is not how it works. So with the way that Venables has talked about that safety group, man, Key Lawrence against UTEP, he's got to play at a high level because Justin Harrington has positioned himself.
He's balling.
And is he going to be kind of just your nickel, smaller cheetah type guy, or is he going to be an every down safety? Right. And that is where, and then you're going to have these 3 safety sets where it's Key Lawrence, Justin Harrington, and Billy Bowman all on the field at the same time. But I know Key Lawrence wants to be an every down player for this defense. So this is going to be the first in-game evaluation that this staff is going to have on him. So it's important that he comes out and plays well. And with what UTEP does offensively, getting in those big personnel groupings, challenging you with some of those big sets and running the ball right at you, like he's going to be in the run fit, right? And they're going to do some things formationally to get him in the run fit and to make him make tackles. So I cannot wait to see how he responds to those situations.
Absolutely. And yeah, he's going to need to tackle well. And it's 100% right what you said. There is an ongoing battle of safety, which is a good thing, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I don't think that Justin Broyles is another name just throw out there from that room. But, you know, Billy Bowman's been widely talked about. Justin Harrington's had a great camp, which, again, it just baffles me that Justin Harrington had been playing corner and not playing safety since he stepped foot on the Oklahoma campus. We'll leave that for another day, but he's where he should be, and he's playing very well. And again, like that's what you want to create in every position room, right? You want to have multiple guys playing at a high level, create competition, and typically the cream rises to the top, and it makes everyone in that room better if they, you know, embrace that challenge of who's going to win the job. So you should never feel comfortable. And he kind of mentioned that. And then he kind of backed off that because you shouldn't. Like there's a difference between confident and being in a good place and being comfortable. Like I think the best teams, you're always on notice. You know, I better bring it every single day. If I don't, somebody's going to take my job. That's good. Like that's what creates elite programs. That's what creates a championship winning culture, is that again, not to be fearful, but to also recognize and know, hey man, I gotta come to work. I gotta punch the clock. I gotta come to work and I gotta produce. I gotta play at a high level each and every day. So to me, that's nothing but great stuff. He you know, as far as throwing the football, so we talk a lot about the big personnel, and they're going to ask him to definitely come down, and they're going to put him in positions to where they want the ball to work towards him, and he's going to have to just be able to make a tackle. As far as coverage in this game in particular, Gabe, I didn't watch all the UNT game, but I saw some highlights. I caught some clips. Looked like they had a receiver made a really nice play down the field. Thought the ball was placed pretty well. Does UTEP have any chance at wide receiver to challenge this secondary, including the safeties? Because if I'm being honest, I don't think they will. I feel like this is more about they're going to really want to try to lean on running the football, but clearly they're going to throw it, and they got a quarterback that can spin it a little bit. What kind of challenge do you think UTEP is going to present to the secondary in this matchup?
Yeah, Gavin Hardison, their quarterback, is, what's the best way to put it? He's better than I want him to be. I'd prefer UTEP was coming to Norman with an awful quarterback. Don't be fooled by his stat line against North Texas. Like the guy can move around. He's got a strong arm. He's willing to take some risks. Like he's on the Senior Bowl watch list. Like he is not just a complete scrub. And I think OU fans will see that. Like he is a very capable player. Now, the catch you're talking about was by a guy named Ronaldo Flores, who went up and got it, kind of mossed a guy.
Nice play.
The guy that I am worried about is number 1, Tyron Smith. And he had a big day against North Texas, and it should have been much bigger because he dropped 2 other touchdowns. He scored 1 on a beautiful ball from Hardison, but he dropped a long bomb touchdown that went right through his hands, and then another contested one in the end zone. He would have had, 200 yards receiving if he wouldn't have had the drops that he had. So he is a guy that, out of all the guys that UTEP has, number 1 is the one that's going to challenge them vertically with speed. And UTEP knows they got to take some of those shots.
Sure, have to.
They got to take some of those shots, and Tyron Smith, number 1's the guy for them.
And that'll be the real key,
nice.
Right? And those safeties, as they're going to want to go in big sets. They're going to want to kind of lull you to sleep with the run. Play action and shots are going to be a part of this thing, right? So, not being overly aggressive and coming up, coming down the box too much at times, I would think is going to be one of the real coaching points for Brandon Hall in that safety room all week, right? You want him to be aggressive. You want him to come up and be a part of the run fit, but at the same time, you've got to be smart. You got to have awareness, and you got to know they're going to do all they can to bait you up and then try to take shots over your head. And just, that's the one thing that clearly it's football 101 that you cannot allow your safeties to do. And you'd hate to see that in the opener as well.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And I am about as excited about the safety position as I am any position on this football team. Because, and this is no shot at, DTY and Pat Fields, the guys that played safety for us the last couple of years. Those guys were really good players. I mean, really good players, especially DTY. I loved how he played, but you look at the physical traits now.
Yeah.
Of Key Lawrence, of Billy Bowman, of Justin Harrington. It feels like the first time in quite some time where the safety position can be a real difference maker for this football team.
Yeah.
And Key Lawrence is a huge piece of that. And the number one thing a safety has to do is have disciplined eyes. And that goes right into what you're saying about the play action shots and not getting too caught up in what they're doing with the run schemes and all that stuff. Like, he's got to play disciplined, sound football. But the one thing I really like about Key, man, that guy plays with emotion. And so that, like, when we're talking about things I'm excited to see, I am excited to see him fly around, make some plays, and then let these guys from UTEP know about it. Like, I am pumped to see that stuff.
100%, man. He brings the juice, right? He brings the juice, and when he makes plays, I love to see that passion pour out of him. So I'm with you. I think I've said it. I might have said it on your podcast. At safety, they've been getting by, and I think this is the year. It feels like they've got the room. They're putting the room together where it can be a difference-making group. I hope that's the case. I really do. It feels that way to me too. And we'll see. And we'll start to find out here at the end of this week. Thanks to Muse Growth Strategies for continuing to help us spread the word about strengthening Oklahoma. And as we always do at the end of these shows, thanks to you guys, our subscribers. We appreciate you guys so much for helping, for believing in us, for believing in what we're doing here at Strengthening Oklahoma, supporting the players and the team we have at Strengthening Oklahoma. None of this would be possible without you guys being a part of it. For that, we thank you, we appreciate you, and we'll see you again next time right here on Strengthening Oklahoma.